Death Watch.
Welcome back to Cradle of the World, a Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 campaign by Death Watch Productions. I am Brandon, the Dungeon Master, and we return to our heroes, all split up on their different tasks. Graham, in the submarine deep beneath the surface of the ocean, had rescued a couple of the elves that had been captured along with his family, and continues to search for his sister and mother. And Fenrith continues to defend the village as it gets attacked from different locations. And Casimir continued his exploration of the temple, fighting against goblins and finding a false wall that led to an alcove that had some artwork that told a story about the Seldarine. And Rohan continues his guerrilla battle in the dark, stormy night out in the forest against the humans and goblins who captured the family of farming elves. And that's where we'll pick it back up. But first, we'll introduce our heroes, starting with Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm playing Casimir, hero of the rock, and John's a poopy doo-doo head.
I'm Travis. I'm playing Graham, the hero of the sea, and I'm going to save everybody.
I'm Justin. I'm playing Rohan, who will probably die today.
Nah, you're good.
That's right. Fenrith will not be joining us today, so be running his...
He's playing Fire Emblem Engage.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Rohan, we'll pick it back up with you. You had done your tree stride.
Yep.
To get ahead of the group again and wait to intercept them. And so you've come out, now you've come out of a tree down the path, and it's still dark and it's still raining very hard. But you were waiting to intercept this group as they continued on towards you, and you can hear their shouts because the humans, the leader of this group is shouting for them to hurry up and to keep moving. And so we'll pick it back up on you as Goblin leading holding a rope to which the human captives are attached comes into view down this small game trail.
Okay. Was that the next round before my next turn, or did I have to wait a full round?
Yeah, you had to wait a full round.
Okay. So, and there's just one that came out?
Yeah, so right now you can see one goblin in the lead, and he's holding a rope.
Okay.
And you can see the humans behind him.
So,
and another goblin. So you got two goblins and then the humans.
Okay. So I'll split my attacks between the two goblins.
All right,
and I'll add in the deadly aim. All right, did that add it?
Okay, make it your turn. You should be able to see him on the combat tracker now, or can you?
Yep, I can see him. All right, so one deadly aim, and then they are my favorite enemy, so +4 to attack. And all right, these first two shots will go to Goblin Rifleman 1.
Okay. All right, so both of those didn't have it targeted. Let me put it.
Yeah.
So that's the first one hit, and the second one is a miss.
Okay, so the first one would have been my multi-shot, so it's 2 arrows.
Okay.
Oh, an extra 8 damage there. I forgot to put on the extra 4.
All right, so that's 2 arrows.
Yeah.
And 1 shot.
Yep, that was the multi-shot shot.
Yeah, so these 2 arrows, they streak through the night and the rain with the crackling electricity and punch him right in the heart, and he falls to the ground.
Okay. And then the next 2 arrows. Oh, crap, I forgot to add the +4 on that. So that's a 25, and then an 18.
So the first one hits.
Okay. So then +4 for the favorite enemy, and...
Okay. Yeah, so that arrow sticks in his chest as well, but he remains standing. And, he's looking around, trying to find where you are, even following the the track of your electrified arrows. It doesn't seem to you like he sees you.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else for you? As a full attack?
Yeah. And then I will move so that the tree is between me and anybody coming up the road.
Yeah, you
up
could
the path.
do, with a 5 foot, you could get at least partial cover from anybody coming down that path.
Okay.
All right. So then, that first one falls and he drops the line, and that second one gets, an arrow in his chest, but he's still standing and he grabs that rope, and then you hear someone from behind them shout, get moving, and he takes off in a run.
The goblin rifleman does?
Yeah, he grabs that line and he's running straight down this path, dragging those humans with him. And then you can see that leader come into view as well, behind the humans.
Okay.
You still don't see the ranger anywhere.
Okay.
But they can go. So you would have seen them. So by the end of their turn, they're about 40 feet away from you.
Okay.
Because they were about 120 feet away when you spotted them. And now it doesn't seem to you like they see you, and all of their attention seems to be on just running now.
Okay. So I can see that human taskmaster or whatever now for my next turn?
Yeah, so this robed human, this mage, let me get this on here. He's behind the rest of them. And yeah, you can see him, and then you see 2 more goblins as well.
Okay.
And then let me get it to, yeah. So they're come, running down the trail, and that human's screaming at that mage is screaming at him to hurry, hurry, hurry. And what do we got here? Yeah, you still don't see the ranger, so it'll bring it back to your turn.
Okay, so I'll target the human mage, and I'll go arrow by arrow. I'm not using deadly aim this time. So first arrow, that is 2 arrows for multi-shot.
That's a hit.
Okay. Second shot.
That one goes wide.
Third shot.
Oh,
No. And fourth shot. All right. And then I will, I guess I'll just stay where I am right now.
Okay.
Try and get partial cover from
okay.
him.
All right. So yeah, so you fire these arrows. One of them sticks into that mage, and you can see him stagger a bit, and then the rest of the arrows go wide, and then you sort of duck around a little, trying to get some concealment from him. When that human shouts at the goblins to keep going, it's just up ahead, and then that ranger materializes from out of the trees, and he goes up to the mage and starts holding him up, and you can see that mage start casting a spell.
Okay.
So then let's see, where is it? Yeah, so he casts a spell, and he and that ranger disappear.
Okay.
And you know enough about magic that do your spellcraft
I think it's Arcana now.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's spellcraft.
Still is? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he teleported.
Okay.
And then those goblins dragging the humans, they're running at full speed. And now they've gone past you.
Okay.
And it'll be back to your turn. So
Oh.
now when you look at them now, you're looking from behind them. And so you've got like the wounded goblin up front. It's very difficult to see him anymore, pulling the humans. And then there's a couple of goblins in the back, like screaming at him to go faster.
Okay. How far away are the goblins in the back?
They're 40 feet now.
Okay. I'll target Goblin Rifleman 3 first.
Okay.
I'll do deadly aim, +4 for favorite enemy. And first shot with 2 arrows.
It's a hit.
Okay. And second arrow.
All right. So that takes him in the back of the neck, and he falls to the ground, skids a few feet.
Okay, how far away is the one at the front?
So he would be 60 feet away now.
Okay, I'll target him with the next arrow. +4 for favorite enemy.
So we have a miss there.
Okay, +4 again. Ooh, potential critical.
Critical hit?
Critical.
No, not confirmed.
All right, so just a regular hit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that arrow streaks up over the top of the elven captive's heads and sticks in the back of his head, and he slides to the ground.
Okay, and the last goblin, I'll take one shot at him. Yeah, I didn't expect that one to happen.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Then that that last goblin screams and continues to race forward, snatches up that lead line and tries to pull them along. But now those captives recognize that there's just one goblin, and so they start resisting by pulling back on that rope. And he's just not strong enough to move all of them. So basically they are standing still, and he turns around. You can see him lift up his musket and take aim at one of them and fire. Or wait, no, that's not true. That's not what he does. You can see him stab at one of them with the bayonet. And you do see that he did successfully stab one. But they're not moving there. And, the captives are pulling back on that rope, and the kids are screaming. And it was what you assume to be the father is the one that got stabbed, but he's still standing. But that brings it back to you.
Okay. I'll just do a full attack. No deadly aim this time. It's targeted.
So 2 hits.
2 hits.
1 automatic miss. Your bow breaks.
Oh, I forgot to add the +4 for favorite enemy there.
I'll put it on there.
Okay. So yeah, it would be another 4 damage to him.
Okay. All right. So the arrows stick into his stomach, streaking past these elven captives, and he screams and doubles over. And at this point, he drops that rope, and he runs screaming into the night down the trail.
Okay.
So at this point, he was 60 feet away from you, and with a move, he drops out of sight. Around. Now he's obstructed from your view.
Okay. I'll use my last tree stride to move 3,000 feet down the pathway.
3,000?
Yeah.
Okay. So you see the elven captives there now that they're not being pulled along, and the woman is trying to tend to the wound of this, what you assume to be her husband, and then you do tree stride and zoom along to another like tree 3,000 feet away, and you come out of that, and when you step out, you see, looking back the direction from which that goblin would be coming, from your point of view here, the trail is pretty straight that way. You have a good field of vision when he comes into view.
Okay.
It's a small, narrow game trail, but it is, it is free of large trees in its center anyway. And then behind you now, looking the way he would be running, you can see that straightness continues for about another 100 feet, and then there's a drop off, and you can see a glow coming from that direction as well after the drop off.
Okay.
But you're standing there waiting for him.
So I should have a couple rounds before he manages to make it this far. What do I see on that glow if I move that way?
So you can move down that trail, and you get to what's the drop off there, and you can see that it's a rough drop, and just based on your own knowledge of the wilderness, you can see that this is a washout. Just by the way the ground is, that the rain was too heavy at some point and it washed this section out. So down about 100 feet. Pretty steep 100 feet, you can see a bunch of trees laying, in all different angles on their sides and stuff from where they used to stand up here at this level. And then past them, where the trees once again are standing in the ground as they're supposed to be, you can see that glow coming through there, which seems obvious to you that it's a bright light of some sort, like brighter than campfires.
Okay.
But that's all you can see from your angle.
All right. And when the goblin gets there, of course, I'll open fire when he comes into view.
Okay. Yeah, so after a bit, you hear him before you see him, and you look down that trail, and here he comes, and he's got arrows stuck in his stomach, and he's running along, dragging his feet, obviously wounded and tired, but you can go ahead and take your shot.
Okay. We'll go full. Wow, that was horrible.
One hit.
All right, so that was the first arrow. So that was 2 arrows.
All right, so both of those arrows strike him in the chest, and he just pitches forward and skids along on his face and then is still.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to do just a little bit of psychological warfare here. I'm going to leave only his helmet in the path. I'm going to pick up his body and carry it back to the where the villagers were.
Okay. All right, so so you shoot him and he dies, and let's see, 2 things happen here. Pretty intense lightning strikes, and they flash and light up the night and give you a clear vision of the surrounding forest. And also, just the most brief change in the wind lets you hear some sounds coming from where that glow is.
Okay.
It sounds to you like conversations, like somebody shouting, shouting to be heard, not shouting because they're angry.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, I'll pick up that goblin and move as fast as I can. It'll put me into a heavy load probably, but I'll move back to the villagers as fast as I can.
All right.
See if they've managed to stop the blood flow from the stab wound and try and get them moving back. See if they'll drag the goblin corpses with them.
All right. Yeah. So you pick up that goblin and you start hoofing it back to those captives down the trail. And that's where we'll cut on over.
Okay.
To, let's see, Casimir.
All right.
So you're in this alcove and you've read this. Well, you've looked at all this artwork and, understood what it was depicting. And there are 2 chests in here as well. This was a false wall, so it's like an illusion. So, I mean, if you look behind you where you came in, you see a wall there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's these 2 chests as well.
All right. What was it? I believe, I was in pain when we left off, right? Because it felt like my bones were stretching.
Yeah. Yeah, you were in intense pain, collapsed on the floor. And, you're not sure how long that lasted. It felt like it could have been forever, but realistically, maybe just a minute or 2.
Okay.
But essentially, yeah, that's exactly what happened. When the pain finally stops, you realize, in the span of that minute or 2, you grew. That's just the best way to describe it.
All right.
So, basically, let me give you some numbers here. All right, where are you? So, give me a roll 3d8 for me.
All right. There you go.
Okay. When you stand up, let's see, let me get this. You realize that, you're taller, much taller, just bigger in general.
Yeah.
So it feels very, very strange to you.
No balance.
Uncoordinated.
Yeah.
And, try to scratch your nose and punch yourself in the face sort of thing. Let's see. You're now 7 feet tall.
What has happened?
Apparently stretched.
And
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
and you are now 200 pounds.
I guess that explains why I was in so much pain. Dang.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's not the only thing that changed. You're taller and heavier. 180 pounds.
Okay.
180 pounds. And then I don't know what let me check here, Casimir. Yeah, I don't know if you had it written down or if it's ever been talked about, but your hair.
Oh, yeah. I think we were all tan skin and brown eyed too.
Well, so your hair grew a lot.
Was it a shock of blonde hair?
No, it isn't. It actually, the coloration doesn't change much. It just takes on sort of a, it was like brown, but now it takes on sort of a lighter brown coloration, a lot like, stone.
Okay.
But that grew. So yeah, then you stand up and you feel a little uncoordinated and you take some steps around and the pain was intense, but it's gone now. In real life, we all had those like random extreme pains from growing that like were, debilitating and then suddenly just weren't there anymore. And that's exactly what it felt like to you. All of your equipment grew with you. It's not like your, armor is too small now, but the other things like your small clothes, loincloth, whatever, that is too small now. Socks are squeezing, but otherwise your equipment grew with you.
Dang. Yeah, I'll set up and I guess after I take stock of the changes that have occurred, I'll quickly kind of get up and poke my head out the illusionary wall and make sure that like my screams weren't heard, or perhaps they hopefully just blended in with the other screams that were usually happening.
Okay.
I guess I technically don't have to poke my head out. I can see through it, but right?
No, you do got to poke your head out. Yeah. Do you have the map? Let me share it with you. So yeah, you poked your head out. And one thing you notice is as you move your head through, like it's got that effect where, that like the sound isn't going to penetrate.
Okay.
Yeah, like you stick your head through out into the hall and you start hearing the sounds of, there was always that like a low humming going on that you could hear. And so you hear that and then you pop your head back in and it's silence again. So.
Okay. So yeah, I guess what I'll do is I'll figure I'm safe in here, or at least safe enough, and I'll take off my armor and my clothes and begin trying to make some sort of fitting, like what is it, like, I don't know, tailoring, make it some like, I don't know, cut them slightly or something like that.
Yeah.
I used to have to do that to my jeans back in the day, put some slits in the side of the waist.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you can sit down and start working on that. And it'll take you a minute or two.
Okay. And then I'll re-armor and redress and then I guess I'll go check out those chests, see if I can die immediately after growing.
Okay.
Just more of me for that fireball to hit now.
Yeah. All right. So you walk up to those two chests and they're like everything in this room. They're immaculate, free of dust and these chests are obviously very well made. They have that look about them of the ultimate, the builder having the ultimate functionality in mind, but also with enough skill to make them beautiful, beautiful in their simplicity, right? Strong and bound, without a lot of flair to them. But they don't have a lock. There's just a simple catch on them, a larger version of what you'd find on a modern suitcase,
Okay.
but no lock.
Yeah, I'll flip the catch or, take it off. What is it? Like the loop or whatever it is.
Yeah, you just pop that up and open it.
Yeah.
All right. So the one you open first it's a large chest, but when you open it, you see nothing but its entire volume is filled seemingly with some felt material with a cutout just big enough for a large book, which rests in that cutout.
Oh, nice. Any titling or?
No. So this is a large leather-bound book, the size of like maybe twice as thick as like a spell book.
Okay.
But no title.
All right. Yeah, I'll pick that up. I'll flip through the first couple pages, see if anything. Who are we kidding? I'm gonna keep it anyway, but
yeah.
But see what kind of it's about.
All right. Roll give me a will.
Oh, okay. There you go.
All right. So you open this book and you start feeling this pull, this effect. Something about it makes you believe that it's not harmful, and you're not sure. You don't feel like you could fight it at this point anyway. So it's like your mind is drawn into this book, and rather than reading it with your eyes, you're like, you're learning its contents in a much more efficient way, as though you're viewing all of this through the eyes of a person who's seen this story.
Okay.
This book is the account of a man. This book is the account of a man named. Oh, didn't write it down. Let me get that. I know I wrote you somewhere. Elion Pernelis. It's Elyon, and then Pernelis.
Okay.
This is his account. So, all right, so this is his account. So this account, this book is flawless and untouched by time, but you immediately understand as you begin reading it that it was written, 2,000 years ago or more. And this is the account of a man named Elion Pernelis, and he's an elf, and he's a citizen of a great elven city. And, rather than like reading a description of that, you're basically seeing it as he saw it, and it looks very familiar to you, the surrounding lands anyways. It looks to you like Cradle if it was enormous in a metropolis, but also if there was more land on the ocean, before the ocean, than there is now at Cradle. And, so about, a quarter mile out to sea from where Cradle is now, you can see that that's still land, and there's a big castle out there at the end of it. But otherwise, it looks a lot like Cradle. And as a matter of fact, as the vision continues, you get the image of the Angry Mountain, and that there's a massive palace where the home of the heroes is now. From that palace, a bridge somehow stretches without any support in the intervening space from where that palace is all the way to about the midpoint of the Angry Mountain. And then you can even see that at that point, it begins a winding road around the entire circumference of the mountain all the way up to the peak. And that's the vision you're getting in at least 2,000 years ago. And as you take this knowledge in from this book, you get the sense of this man's desperation. The elves are under attack. The enemy is not understood by you in this reading so far. You just get the sense that it's terrible and things are not going well for the elven people. And you feel his sense of, what's the word?
Desperation?
Yeah, there's desperation, but also, I don't know why this word is escaping me, but it's when you're, resentment. Mm-hmm. Desperation and resentment. And so as you dive deeper down, that feels like you're going down a river of his knowledge, and then there's different tributaries and offshoots and streams, and you go down that one because it seems to be the strongest, the resentment. And down that path, you get the account of how he's absolutely certain that he could play a part in saving his people if the Seldarine would grant him this great power.
Okay.
That's the sense you're getting from it. And he's not explained yet what this great power is, but at least at this point, you're able to determine that there is a great power that the Seldarine could grant him, but they won't, and he feels that is unjustified, and he's resentful about it. And then, at that point, you're, swept back out of the book and then you're standing in there holding it in your hands. You get the feeling like you've just done something very strenuous. Mm. It wasn't, you weren't just standing there reading, there was a physical effect to this. And so now you're standing there, you're a little bit shaky, but you got this book in your hand and you can thumb through it some more, but that same thing doesn't happen at this point.
Okay. I guess I'll put it into the bag of holding, and then I'll open the second chest.
All right. So in that second chest, where did it go? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. In that second chest, you open that up and you see a staff.
All right. Yeah, I'll pick that up.
Yeah, so this one has a weird effect because as you open it, you can see it's got that same felt, cut out for this staff, and it's, it fits in this chest, so it's small, maybe twice as long as a wand, but clearly shaped like a staff would be. But as you draw it out, it regains its, it takes on its full size and becomes a full size staff.
Okay.
You recognize it as ash wood. It's a white ash wood staff, and it's got silver runes inlaid in it. It has, basically it looks like a quarter staff or a walking stick, as in it doesn't have something special at one end. It's just a long staff with white ash staff with some runes laid in it, but that's what you find in there.
Okay. I'll cast Detect Magic and take a look at it. I'll do it as a swift action to remove that 10% chance that for spell failure as well.
Okay.
Not that it mattered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good roll. Okay. All right. So, obviously you detect very strong magic here. Let me get you the exact.
Let's see. All right, so it looks like spellcraft is used to identify now as well.
Okay.
I think is what I'm seeing here. And if I cast identify, I get a bonus, I believe.
Yeah. Identify the properties of a magic item using detect magic is 15 plus items caster level.
Okay.
And so what did you roll, a 25? No, that was your will. What did you roll? You didn't.
I haven't yet.
All right. So roll a spellcraft.
Come on. Skills. Or is it missing it? Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, you can. You rolled a 40. All right. So this is yeah, you got it. All right. So you detect various strong auras coming from this. And let's see, what does it say? You identify the properties of a magic item. Okay. This is a staff of power.
Okay.
You detect. I mean, you can identify it do extreme, like a wide variety of things from, fireball, lightning bolt, levitate, magic missile, cone of cold, ray of enfeeblement, globe of invulnerability, hold monster, wall of force. And also, it grants a +2 luck bonus to AC and on saving throws. And it also is a +2 quarterstaff.
Oh.
And its wielder may use it to smite opponents with a charge. It'll cause, like if one charge is expended, the staff causes double damage for 1 round. Anyway, it can be used for, a retributive strike requiring it to be broken by its wielder. And if it does, then all the charges are instantly released in a 30-foot spread. And everything in the area takes damage equal to 20 times the number of charges in the staff at various distances. It's very, very powerful.
Yeah.
So that's what you found there.
All right. Am I still tired from growing and all that stuff?
Not for any game effect. I mean, you still feel, oh man, that was rough, but
Okay.
not to the point that it's gonna. So I'll put this in your inventory.
All right. Because I'm wondering if I should hang out for 8 hours here and switch up the spells. Do I even feel like that would be a possibility?
To what?
Like rest and switch up spells, or is it like, am I like stasis locked basically in here?
No, you definitely could rest.
Okay. Yeah, Casimir will sit down and do that
Okay.
then, and guess pass it off to Travis.
Yeah, we'll go to Graham.
All right. I forget, Little Foggy, did I kill that second guy yet, or did we leave off before I was able to? I think we left off before I was able to get that second torture.
We had left off. You were still up in the van at that point.
Okay, so again, my plan is to sneak down and sneak attack him with the spanner.
Okay, let me get you on here. Get you the map. Okay, do you see that map?
Yeah, I sure do.
Let me get this open for you. So there you should be able to see him.
Yeah.
Well, you can see the elf there. And then let me get this bad guy on here. And then, let's see. You see him?
Yeah.
All right. So let me put it on your turn there. All right.
So I want to creep down from this vent and stealth up behind him. Did you want me to apply any modifiers to my roll?
No, just do your stealth.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, the screams are too loud. And he's got this, device that he's pointing at that elf. And then, the elf is screaming. So, okay, Graham. So you want to sneak down in there. And you've rolled your stealth.
Yeah, I got a 25. I want to get up behind him and then stab Bloodtooth into him with a sneak attack.
All right, so make sure you target him. I think you got someone else targeted, or
I got the human extractor. Is that the right guy?
yeah.
Okay.
All
right, so here is my attack roll.
Okay, so that's a hit.
All right, damage from... Oops, sorry, ignore that. Damage from Bloodtooth and the sneak attack. See?
Okay.
Still up?
Nope, that's enough. Like,
Okay.
stab him right in the back of the neck, and he just falls down.
Yeah, and
then-
again, I'll kind of help us fall. So it's not a big crash, and I'll see how this person who was extracting essence from is doing. Quintessence?
Right. So this was another one of the newcomers that you recognize as a newcomer, but that you'd never met. But yeah, he's whatever they're doing to these people, when you've like rescued your dad and the one before, it clearly had some aging effect on him, or at least a temporary one. And this one looks like he's spent. His skin is tightly drawn over his bones, and his eyes have that washed out, faded look, and he's, trying to catch his breath. It's not clear to you that he even realizes that you're there, or that the pain has stopped.
Well, nevertheless, I'll put some healing on him and hope that rouses him somewhat. So here's my use magic device.
Okay.
And the amount of healing.
Okay.
How does he fare after that? I know if it's anything like the last ones, it doesn't seem to affect this rapid aging process.
Right. Yeah. So obviously, you can see the energy wash over them, and it does have a healing effect on them. But it's clear to you that the majority of the damage being done here is not the kind that's tracked by hit points. But he does start breathing easier, and he blinks, and his eyes seem a little bit sharper. And he looks at you, and he tries to say something, but he can't manage it. But he just sits there slumped in that chair.
Okay, well, I had a thought in between the last guy and this guy. So what I'll do is with my signet ring of the sea, or is it my armor that I cast spells on, is I'll cast water walk and water breathing on them. I can do it at will, and it should last. The water breathing, I think, is an hour per level, and then water walk is 10 minutes. So
Okay.
if the worst comes to pass, then perhaps they'll stand some chance of getting out of here if I can't get back to him.
Okay.
And since he's not really responsive, I'll just leave it at that. At least he'll float up
Yeah.
to the surface.
You're just going to push him out the...
Right. Yeah. I guess I was kind of wondering if I suppose D&D doesn't, or Pathfinder doesn't take into account
Rapture of the Deep.
what do they call that? Like the bends. Or maybe water walk has some magical
yeah,
effect that stops that from happening.
Part of the magic of it.
Yeah.
I guess water breathing would
Do
make
the same
sense.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so since I can't get any info out of him, I'll take a gander around this room. So I'm kind of getting a sense of these being cells. Does that vent continue to run north, or at least on the orientation of this map, onto another room?
Yeah. Like you can see there's another vent up there on the other side of the room.
Okay, yeah, that's where I'll go. Seems to be working so far. Crawl and stab, heal. Crawl, stab, heal. All right, I better take one of those off of there.
All right, so you crawl up into there, and now you see, there's another vent that looks into a room, and then the vent goes to your left, obviously, like the other ones did. I'm not sure why you got this marker. What is this for?
What marker? I don't see a marker.
Okay, I'll get rid of it then.
You probably marked me for death last session. Just forgot what it meant.
No, you've got
Kilogram next time we play.
there's a pointer coming back to...
Is there a GM layer? Is that how it works? Because I definitely don't see a pointer.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah, so I am continuing through that vent, or these are just little short areas. I'm seeing if there's another room just across, like there was the previous time.
Yes, yeah, there's another one, and let me put that up here in a second. Yeah, so you should be able to see in there now. And in this one, you've got, and this one's empty.
Okay.
It's the same setup, but there's no one in this one.
And do I see yet another vent to the north, or does this seem like this is the end of the bank of cells?
You do see another vent over there.
Okay. Well, then I'll hop out of this one and into the next one.
All right. So you come in here, and let's see. Then you've got another vent, like you have been so far. And you look down into this room, and you see this seems to be like a storeroom of sorts, because there's just barrels and chests and piles of stuff in here. You don't detect any people.
Okay, does this seem to be the end of...
No. From there, you do see that, there is another vent over right on the opposite side from you.
Okay. Well, I'll just go check it out. Crawl out and in the opposite way.
Okay. So, yeah, you move down into this room, and you're looking into, you see a storeroom here, basically. So you've got all these chests here on this wall, and then you've got a bunch of, barrels stacked up on this side. You're not sure what's in them. But there is some, like, what looks to be scrap metal, oddly shaped scrap metal in that pile, but mostly it's just barrels. And then over here, you see another vent right here.
Okay. Yeah, crawling into that one, does it just looks like it bends off to the west?
You get in here and it looks like just a few feet ahead that it cuts to the left.
Yeah, I'll crawl around it. A working idea that this part will be somewhat symmetrical, so maybe I'll have another bank when I come around. We'll see.
Okay. So here, you come around this bend, and then you see another vent there, and you look through that vent, and now you see something different. So you're looking into a large room with some people working at some sort of station that has lights and colors flashing on it. Then there's a table, and then some large apparatus takes up the bulk of this room. And there's a steady, loud humming, grinding, grunting sort of sound coming from the whole room.
Well, it looks like a good room to apply my disable device skill, but I'll save it for later, and I'll backtrack.
And so you can see, let me just put them on, because you can see two of them from here. So there's two guys in here that you can see, one working at the table and one over at that, whatever that workstation is with all the lights and colors.
Yeah, and I pretty much can't make heads or tails of what it is they are doing,
right,
like last time with the other guys. Yeah, so I'll leave it for later, and I'll backtrack into that storage room. Or actually maybe in the vent across from the storage room, because it looked like it traveled west back to the hallway. And I'm going to see about those other rooms on the west side of the wall of that hallway.
So back up into this vent?
Yeah, and I want to crawl down to the end of that towards the hallway and look out.
Okay.
See if there's anything down there.
All right, so you get to this vent, and you can look out into the hallway, and you see that now you are close to the end of it. And so when you peek your head out and look to the right, you can see those two constructs that are standing in front of that door that was at the very end.
Oh, right. Okay. So maybe I'll have to backtrack down and go even further.
Can you see them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, one of them anyways.
Yeah, so that's where they are.
Yeah, so I'll go to... I see, like, these black lines in the hallway. Is that actually sectioned up the hallway like that?
That's the vent.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so...
the duct.
I will skirt back around in this duct work to where I put my movement and come down there and just start working on the west side of this hallway, that bank of rooms.
Okay. All right, so this duct here had those constructs here, right to the right here.
Oh, did it? I don't remember that. I just went crawling right in front of them. Well, it didn't seem to disturb them.
Yeah, because time. they had scanned you but didn't react because
Yeah.
of your disguise.
Yeah. So, always a little bit nerve-wracking when I have to walk by these guys, but I'll do it again to get in the opposing ductwork, it looks like, on the other side of the hallway.
Okay. All right. So you move out and you go up to this duct, and they will scan you again. That's so close. But they don't react to you. They just go back to looking. I think it was a nice touch how they programmed it so it'll teeter on the edge.
For a sec, yeah. I don't know why I'm always like, oh, I'll get an 18 this time. 4. I don't know why it should surprise me. 4 is my lucky number.
All right, so you're back in this duct here. Or you're in this duct that you haven't been in before, but you're on the other side. And that one goes like the other one, quite a ways, and then branches to the right. And you find yourself looking into a room where another one of those, humans is performing this torture of whatever sort on your mother. And you see your mother in there, and she's screaming.
Yeah, well, feeling pretty confident with this duct work now and this sort of routine, I'll get out of that vent and stab him. Have a little extra emotion behind it, but...
All right, so do your stealth roll, please.
Okay, anything's better than a 1. Ooh. 41.
Nice.
Well, I'll roll his perception to see if he sees you or hears you. Oh, he didn't. Close. He was only missed it by 37.
That's the odds I like right there.
All right, so you should be able to target him, so go ahead.
Am I targeting him? Now I am. Okay, so first with the attack roll.
That's a hit.
And with the dagger damage and sneak attack damage. Gotta get some more gems on this dagger. Doing a run like this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're able to kill him immediately.
All right, and then I'll rush to my mother's side and see how she fares. Probably don't even wait to heal her. Just, yep.
She'll be absolutely horrified at having just watched you eviscerate.
Dude with the spanner as far as
And become human.
Still human. It could be close to wearing off by now.
All right, so you
Turned into an elf in those ducks.
you rush forward and you heal her, and as you know, before you do that, you can see that maybe it hasn't been going on as long, but the aging effect doesn't seem to be as pronounced with her. You also see that like one side of her face is really swollen, lips cut. You know, obviously from
Mom did have an acid tongue.
taking a punch. You can see her on her hand. A couple of her fingers are snapped at an odd angle, and there's like a ludicrous amount of like skin underneath her fingernails.
Dang. Fighting.
But yeah, you know, put that wand on her and cure her completely, obviously. And so all that damage disappears, and now she just looks very wan and, you know, tired.
Yeah, and a little bit aged. But this would be more like closer to how old she was when we first started, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because the island had been working them sort of backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's not something you're not used to seeing, but, you know, she's catching her breath, and she smiles when she looks at you. She says, "Oh, Graham, nice job.
Thanks, Ma.
I knew you'd come for us."
I found Dad in another room.
I'm just here to kill indiscriminately.
Is he okay?
Yeah, a bit like you. Oh, I think you were worse off, actually.
Well, they took your sister. Whoever I assume was in charge took your sister. I'm not sure where they took her.
Well, I aim to find out, Mom.
He did say he had different uses for her, whatever that means. But you have to find her.
I'm going to, but here's the thing. I don't know if I'll be able to make it back. I'm not sure how this is all going to turn out, so... And I'll cast those spells for my ring, and I'll explain to her what they do, and if I'm not back in a certain amount of time, I'll give her a rough idea of how to get out of here, if she has to do it on her own.
Mm-hmm.
But I will come back if I can.
Okay. So, yeah, she looks at you and she says, "You just find your sister and I'll worry about the rest of them." And then she walks over to that vent and climbs up in there. You can hear her thumping along as she crawls through the duct.
That's where you get your skills from.
Learned it from Mom. Mother Miller. All right, I will go... am I correct in my assumption that there is another event to the north linking this chamber to the next?
Yes. You do see a vent up there, so you start walking over there and give me a fortitude save in the tower, please.
Uh-oh. I hadn't been looking for traps. Where yet? How did I do?
All right. So
Dance of Fortitude.
you're walking over there.
Searching for traps.
Oh.
No, you're just walking over there, and then for whatever reason, you just are racked with incredible pain all over your body.
Huh.
It's not like a trap. You're not even there yet. You're just walking there, and suddenly you're just hit by this extreme pain, brings you down to your knees. And so you're down on the floor, writhing in agony.
Oh, is this what happened to you before you got stretched?
Welcome to the 7-foot club.
Nice.
Roll 2d8 for me, please.
Nice.
Very nice.
Would be funny if you somehow lost height, though. It's not that bad for a rogue, I guess. I mean, you kind of want to head for
Right.
that small category.
I mean, yeah, most of the builds do go for that, but
All right. So when that ends, and it's hard to say if it was a minute or an hour, and the pain just disappears as suddenly as it arrived, you realize that all of your limbs have stretched and you're taller now.
oh, this is gonna make the duct work a lot harder.
And, you stand up on, shaky legs and everything feels weird, and you realize that you are 6 feet 4 inches tall.
Nice.
And
Your pants stop right above your knees now.
you...
I was already wearing like the sailor type, so now I'm wearing like mid thigh.
Elven sailor booty shorts. Perfect for
Why does
sneaking.
that sound like the new title of this campaign? Elven sailor booty shorts. Sorry, Brandon.
No, it's okay. It's and now you weigh 149 pounds.
You want me to draw the title cards?
I can't remember.
Keep trying to sneak through these vents.
Oh, sorry, 159 pounds.
6'4", 159.
Yeah, very, very lanky.
Yeah, that's almost a full foot taller and 50 pounds heavier.
And so you can make it into that vent, and you can see that, just like the other ones, it goes into the next room or goes on down towards the hallway.
Man, you'd be kind of a bumbling fool for a little bit if you had that kind of rapid growth, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, I remember like the boys slightly older than me back when they were going through that, and
Yeah.
like they were just uncoordinated as hell.
Right. Well, I remember like starting to bang my shoulders on like the walls and stuff when I come around a corner because
Yeah.
I take it a little too narrow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you hop up into there, and then we'll switch on over to Rohan.
Okay.
You should check for the dent in your head. See if that.
Did it come out? Oh. Popped it out.
All right, Rohan. So you make it back to this elven family. So you've got like a mother and a father, and there's 2 children and what looks like could be an uncle or maybe a very young grandfather or something.
Okay.
A farmhand. It's hard to say, but the father there is laying on the trail, and he's bleeding from this bayonet wound in his stomach.
Okay.
And his wife is trying to tend to him, and the kids are like huddled around that other adult and softly crying. And the rain is now pouring even more fiercely, so everybody's soaked and muddy.
Okay. I'll cast my 1 Cure Light Wounds on him.
Okay.
So yeah, 7 points
All right.
of healing.
So that, you cast that spell, and it, stitches his wound up in front of your eyes there, and the bleeding stops. And, he's still obviously in pain and weakened, but the danger of him dying has passed.
Yeah, I'll start trying to get them moving back the way that they'd come. Tell them to grab the weapons from the goblins that I had killed, though.
Okay. All right. So they start to do that. They get up and they start gathering all that. You can see them looking at like the muskets. They're not sure how they work, but they do figure out how to flip out the bayonet, so at least that's a stabbing weapon for them.
Okay. And as they're doing that, I'll describe what I've seen the goblins do to reload. Tell them about the powder they put in, and just kind of say what they say as I drag the corpses of the goblins off the road.
Okay.
Or off the path.
All right. So in short order, they arm themselves, and you can see them fidgeting with them, trying to figure it out. I mean, they can, they figure out how to put the powder in and the cartridge and everything. But no matter what, for whatever reason, when they try to, fire it into the woods, it doesn't fire.
All right. Yeah, I'll have to kind of...
it could be the rain.
Leave that to them, but we should be able to get the 4 muskets, and once they've got those and the corpses are pulled off the road, then I'll start kind of rushing them back the way they'd come.
All right, yeah. So that they'll move in the direction you want them to.
And as we go, I'll be asking them if there are any other nearby farms where they might be able to gather together a decent-sized group of people to try and make their way to the town.
So the father speaks up there. He's still leaning pretty heavily on his wife, but he says, I know right where we are, and we could easily make it to, he says there's a farm south of here that they could make it to.
Okay. I'll tell them that we need to gather as many people together as possible. There seem to be quite a few of these invaders, and if we're going to try and resist them, we need a good front or someplace where they can hold out and defend. And the best place would probably be the town, but if they can gather enough of the farmers together, then they might be able to find a place nearby.
So he says, well, we can make it to that, let me find it. He calls it the Ilibalar farm. It's a name you don't recognize. It must be newcomers, but Ilibalar farm, he says, which is to the south and west from here. But that there's also the Perzuman farm, and that is north and a little bit east from here.
All right.
And he says he hasn't heard from them in the last, 2 days before all this started happening. But he says that they might need help because they've got both sets of parents living with them, and they're disabled.
Okay. I'll tell him to head south to the Alibalar farm, and I'll check on his neighbors to the north, but that there had been other things that had been attacking farming settlements in the northern part that may have already gotten them.
He says the last time he talked to him was like 3 days ago.
Okay.
And they seemed fine then.
Yeah, before the hurricane, there had been some sort of creatures taking farmers from the northern parts of the settlements. So depending on how far they've come, I'll do what I can to bring them, but there's a possibility they're already gone.
Okay, well, I'll get us. I can get my family, and from there we'll start gathering up as many people as we can.
Okay. If there are any hunters, make sure that they bring their bows, and perhaps we can put up some sort of resistance in the woods. These foreigners don't seem very accustomed to the woods, at least the majority of them.
Okay. So with that, they thank you for rescuing them. And that other adult who now, as you look at him closer, you can see that it's clearly the brother of this husband. He picks up the little girl and puts her on his shoulders, and then scoops up the little boy, and they, with the husband leaning on his wife, they start off down the trail.
Okay. And I'll tell them, hurry as fast as you can. They will likely be coming after that mage managed to get away.
All right, so they set off, and then he says the Presuman family, so where you are now, the way he describes it, it would be north, let me look at It would be east of, close to where that washout was, where that glow was coming from, east from there.
Okay. So I'll head at kind of a slight angle in that direction through the forest, keeping an ear out for any... I kind of want to stay in the forest, but kind of follow the trail just in case they have any goblins that are coming down to try and retake these people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, be ready if I hear or see them to spring a trap on them.
Okay. So in the woods, but close enough to the trail that you'll be able to...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, it's raining fiercely. The wind starts picking up even more. It's blowing like crazy. Everything's wet and muddy, but that means nothing to you as you deftly move through the thick forest, keeping the trail close enough that you can detect any movement on it. You start speeding through the forest. You sort of pick up a tempo of movement where you're, moving just inside the limits of the speed at which you can maintain your balance as you jump over fallen branches and leap from fallen trees onto other fallen trees, and you're speeding through the forest, and all of your sounds are masked by the wind and the rain. And as you move along, you don't hear or see or detect any movement on that trail. And then before you know it, you see that glow up ahead again.
Okay.
And as you get closer to it, you do start to notice like that effect where there's a light and then things move in front of it and it casts a shadow through the trees. You see that. So there's obviously movement down there. And then do a fortitude save.
Okay. There it is. In the tower? Or?
Yeah. Okay. So, you reach the point where you see that glow in those shadows, and then you come to a stop atop a fallen tree. Just an absolutely enormous tree that's fallen over at some point in the past. And so you're atop it and looking in that direction, and then you're just suddenly racked by the most extreme pain that you've felt all day and in a while. Brings you to your knees. You grit your teeth to keep from crying out, and you don't understand what the pain's coming from. Doesn't feel like a magical attack, but you're getting that effect where suddenly you're not hearing the normal sounds because you're just focused so hard on this pain, and you're clenching your jaw, and that begins to hurt. And, once that passes, you can't be sure how much time really passed. It felt like forever, but once it's over, you think, it was probably only a few seconds. But then roll 2d8 for me. No, and then roll another one. 3d8 for you.
Oh.
All right. So you stand back up after that pain finally subsides and realize that all of your body is elongated. You're much taller than you were before.
Just his face.
Arms are longer, yeah.
Reading Alice in Wonderland with my nieces, and there's the part where she eats the mushroom, but only her neck stretches. And it stretches like 30 feet high. So that's what's happening.
She becomes an Elvon.
Well, no, her arms don't stretch as well.
Okay.
It was just her neck.
Only half Elvon.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so as you stand back up, you're now 6 feet, 6 inches tall.
Well, that's annoying.
And you weigh 170 pounds. Oh, and I forgot, Graham. Also, your hair was longer.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how you like to keep it, but now it's like midway down your back length.
Oh, okay.
And it's jet black.
I basically became Rapunzel because my hair is already long.
And Rohan, the same has happened to you. Your hair has grown, but now yours is like a odd bluish gray color.
Give me a week in the woods and it'll be brown again.
Yeah.
So there you stand atop this tree, taller than you used to be. looking towards this glow, which has, shadows casting through the trees from movement. And you can hear voices shouting, and you can hear loud thumping and clanking down there as well.
Okay. I'll try and stay in the forest, but kind of skirt around the outskirts of this camp.
Okay.
Sneaking, of course.
Yeah, roll a stealth roll for me.
Okay, so for still getting used to favorite terrain, I'm trying to +2. Okay. And did you want that in the tower?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That +29 is borderline Graham stuff.
I think that's better than anything I got. 29?
Yeah, but I don't roll as high as you do, so.
Oh.
So you get lower than a 4?
What's your main number? A 3 or a 2?
Yeah. 2 and 3 seem to be my most common numbers.
All right. So you're able to sneak through the woods up to the closer to that glow, and you realize that it's an encampment that's set up in a small clearing. So you're, in the underbrush, camouflaged, looking into this clearing. And so you can see what's happening here is a camp is mostly set up. They're finishing setting up this camp. So they've got a perimeter. You can see sentries, which, goblins and humans, at this point, they're in the clearing still. They haven't pushed their sentries out into the tree line yet as they're getting set up. But you've got tents, and you've got, there's a section where you see, from where you are, you can see 4 of those large constructs that had initially, the ones with the lasers.
Mm-hmm.
You can see 4 of those, and they're standing in a line, but they're not moving.
Okay.
And you can see goblins and humans rushing about, getting things set up. They're setting up tents and setting up. They've got an area set up for their equipment. So from where you are, you can count, at least 50 goblins and humans.
Okay.
And then do a perception.
Perception.
Okay. All right. So as you're watching this take place, there's what you notice that the glow's coming from is that they've set up posts in the ground that look to you like hastily stripped small trees that have just been put into the ground, and atop them they've got these essentially lanterns. They don't look like any lanterns you've seen, just like a basic like some sort of wood structure with a glass ball in it, but it sheds light in all directions. Steady light, not flickering like you'd see from a lantern or a torch. And they've set these up around the perimeter and in the inner part of this camp. There's a big fire being put together. There's a fire burning sort of in the center, and you can see one of the tents close to it is much nicer and larger than the rest of them. And then close to that tent, you spot that human mage you had been fighting recently. You don't see his ranger friend, but he is standing like at attention, and speaking to another man. And this man has, let me get it. So this is a tall man dressed in a sharp uniform. He also has a red coat like all the others besides the mage and the rangers. He's got a very well-made sword at his belt and a tri-corner hat with a feather in it, and some insignia on his collar that you take to be rank. He's definitely in charge here, and you can see he's speaking with that mage. From here, you can't hear what they're saying, but you do see an area that you could get to where you should be able to hear them. But it would be risky unless you continue to roll 46 on your stealth.
No, I'm gonna let that continue, and continue skirting around the outskirts of the camp.
Yeah, so the area that you see where you should be able to hear them is on the outskirts still. It's just pretty close to those constructs. It's closer to those constructs than you are now.
Okay.
Those things are just standing stock still. They're not moving at all.
So it's still raining, right?
Yes.
Pretty heavily?
Yes.
So do I think I could get away with casting a spell, at least, somatically, without alerting attention?
Yeah. The noise from the wind and the rain is enough that you do think you probably could, but also if you wanted to do a, what is the skill? Is it still survival? Then I would say that if you got good enough on your survival, you could time it with a lightning, with a thunder, if you wanted as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to try casting invisibility on myself.
Okay.
So, survival.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can time it, somehow with your unnatural knowledge of nature, you can time, to cast it when there's thunder, and then so go ahead.
Visibility.
Okay.
It's got like 4 different casting options in there.
Yeah, it's okay. You just I'll know that you're invisible.
Okay.
All right. So you cast that.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I'll try and sneak my way up.
All right.
So another stealth.
Yeah. I guess might as well just.
Was it plus 20 when moving, plus 40 when standing still, I believe? Because of invisibility.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking more for like the sound aspect of it.
Yeah. All right. So you start skirting your way around there, and then nobody reacts to you as you move. But finally you come to stop at a position about 20 feet away from those constructs, but like behind them. Like they're facing away from you now. And here you can hear the, do perception. Yeah, now you can pretty clearly hear the conversation taking place there. So your assessment was correct. This other man is clearly in charge and he's giving orders, and you can hear this human that you had been fighting, the mage, giving a report of what just took place. And he says there was at least a half a dozen of these elves attacked him.
Yeah.
At least a half a dozen, and that they're, the inherent evil of their race kept them shielded from, in any way he had to surrender or retreat. It was his only option. And then another person comes up. This one looks like those rangers, but it's not the same one. And he comes up to give a report, and he says that that the forest is haunted or something because crazy things are taking place. And so that leader is like, just calm down and tell me what. He says that we lost one of the enforcers, and so that leader says, why, or what happened? And he says, I don't know because I didn't see it. But the men report that a bright white horse with a horn on its head charged out of the darkness and broke it in half and then left. Now, I searched their belongings. They're not hiding any spirits. And I threatened them all, but they stick to their story. And that's not the only odd thing. Some of the men are reporting that trees just appear where they shouldn't be. And some of them said even after they've cut down trees, when they turn around, there's a tree there again. And it's spooking a lot of the men. I haven't seen this phenomenon myself. And so the leader, he just listens to that, and he keeps a passive face as he thinks about it. But then he says, he asks a question, which is mostly drowned out. All you hear, Rohan, is the words report and stasis. And so you're not sure what it is he asks, but the answer he gets is that the stasis boxes aren't the issue. The issue is soul energy. And so that leader, you finally see some emotion as he curses. Then he says, well, we'll need to gather as many as we can. It would have been nice if you had been able to bring those, he says to the mage. And then the other guy says, well, there is a farm east of here, we've been told. And so the leader says, very well, dispatch a team. Just don't send too many. And so then that human rushes off and starts shouting orders and gathering some people, some goblins with him. So when he starts setting out towards, and actually right towards your direction, he's got 5 goblins, and he stops pretty close to those constructs. You can clearly see and hear them here. And he tells the goblins, there's a farm to the east. He gives them instructions. And he says, now remember, you can't kill them. We need them. So just capture them and bring them back, and don't mess this up. And then, the goblins give a salute, and they start trotting in your direction towards the tree line.
Just the goblins?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he goes back to talk to the leader again.
All right, I'll follow the direction the goblins are going.
All
see
right.
if there's a path that I can get ahead of them on.
All right, so as they start trotting your direction, and he goes back to that leader, and he starts talking, you hear a few more things. You hear him say, you hear him ask, have we had any word from the Indomitable? And the response to that is no. And you hear him say, have we had any word from and then you don't recognize the word. But the answer he gets there is that it run aground underneath the surface. But the word is that they're gathering their own prisoners for fuel. And then once they get enough energy, they should be able to surface. And they're already sending out sorties to the village, to the elves' main village there. And then the last thing you hear as the goblins reach the tree line is a conversation where that mage you'd been fighting says that these elves own the sky, and he's talking about the rocks. He said, I've never seen anything like that, but our ships, except for the Indomitable, would stand no chance against them at all. And then the leader just nods and says, well, if we get enough soul energy, then we can bring out the steel wings. And that's the last of that conversation that you hear.
Okay.
The goblins have gotten pretty close to the tree line. They're trotting along sharply in good form and good order, very disciplined. But
okay. Do they seem to be heading towards a specific game trail or path or anything? Or
well, from where you are, you can't see any trail. It looks to you like they intend to just tromp through the forest, which is, if you want to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, they must know of some trail, because it's not even realistic to try to cut through the forest over in this area, because it's just too thick. But they don't move as if they don't know where they're going, if that makes sense.
Okay. So yeah, I'll shadow them in the forest.
Okay. Casimir, you're still in this alcove, and you've got this staff you pulled out of the chest there, and that book. And I know you've grown a great deal, but you wanted to rest up and re-prepare spells.
Yeah, I've been doing that when we went on break here, so I'm all ready to go.
Yeah, so we'll say you're woken up and you're ready to go.
All right. Can I don't know, maybe, what do you think it'd be, a knowledge arcana? Do I think teleporting would be a bad idea? Not outside of this area, just within it. From, say, back to this alcove if I get in trouble.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
So,
there you go.
okay.
Because I figure it's not a pocket dimension, or otherwise I'd already been junted out into somewhere in the astral plane.
Yeah, you figure that should be safe.
Okay. So I'm going to keep an ear out, but it's time to get back onto our adventure. And I'm going to leave this alcove, or poke my head out first.
Okay.
Guess I can give a listen. There you go.
All right. Okay, so you walk up to that false wall, that illusory wall, and stick your head through and listen. And at the moment, or right as you stick your head through, you start hearing a loud banging sound coming from your left. It's like a really loud strike against wood is what it sounds like to you. Also, this hallway now is littered with dead bodies. So there's 5 goblins that you can see laying in the hallway dead right outside this room.
Does the sound seem to be retreating or getting closer?
No, it's not moving.
Okay.
Seems to be.
To my left. Dang. That's the way I need to go.
Yeah, so you'd have 5 dead bodies very close to you. Dead goblins. Here, let me get a...
Is there any of the goblins that look like they have rank?
Mm-hmm.
I'll search him real quick for hopefully some sort of like orders or something.
Okay. You see those?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so they're all dead. And this one right here is the one you'd search, and he doesn't have anything like that.
Okay.
He doesn't have any orders or anything. One thing you do notice is these 5, or these dead goblins at least, they don't have marks on them to explain how they died. Like there's no blood, there's no wounds, and all of them have a look of just absolute terror on their face.
Let me see if what knowledge Arcana actually entails these days, because I think they changed up some of the creatures that it governs.
And then one other thing you notice is that their weapons, their muskets are gone now. There's just a pile of ash next to each body.
All right, so nothing really interesting on any of the goblins then, right? So
no, just they've got the pouch of bullets and let's see, muskets, bullets. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a normal, little knife and some rations and stuff like that.
All right, then I guess I'll head off. Was it down this way where the sound's coming from, right?
Right. So where that sound's coming from, you look in that direction, and then you see, you can see what's making that noise.
All right.
When you step out of that room, so I'll put it on there for you. So you've got goblins banging on a door down there, trying to force it open. So let me put that on there for you. So you've got a very large door that there's 4 goblins in front of it, banging on it, kicking at it, trying to force it open. And then there's a goblin behind them with a little bit nicer uniform and equipment, shouting orders at them, telling them to hurry up and get it open.
All right. Do they look like they're running from something, or is this like them just trying to get through it?
No, they don't look like they're scared of anything. They're just trying to force it open.
How close does it look like they're getting? Is it like an engineer check?
Well, from where you are,
can't tell.
It doesn't seem like they're having much of an effect. It's
all right.
A very big door. And, so they're right now, what that leader seems to be trying to work on is getting them to, put in their effort at the same time. Because right now, each one's just kicking it or shouldering it, and it's not having an effect.
All right, so I will cast invisibility on myself. I'll use one of my, whatever it's called, like meta magic that comes from being a universal wizard that allows me to apply it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it will be silent, and I'll cast invisible on myself.
Okay.
And that will last 10 minutes. And I'll do it as a swift, so that way that whatchamacallit didn't come up. Then I will also, I guess next round as a swift action. Stuck bar door.
Well, roll initiative real quick so I can
All right.
get in the right order there.
There you go.
Okay. All right. All right. So you've cast invisible on yourself. And then what?
I was going to, on my next round, cast knock. See if I could unbar that door for him or open it.
Oh, okay. All right. So they keep hammering at it. They don't seem to notice you.
All right.
So then it'll be your turn.
All right. So I believe I should be fine with invisible. It's like attacking, I think, is the only thing that drops it.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I think even summoning a spell, like a summon spell, is fine. So here goes knock on the door. And let's see what exactly it would do here. Open stuck, barred, or locked doors, as well as those subject to hold portal or arcane lock. When you complete the casting, make a caster level check against the DC of the lock with a +10 bonus. If successful, the knock opens up to 2 means of closure.
Okay.
All right, so caster level +10. That's a concentration check. Oh, come on. Not that one. So it would be a caster level +20. Or 1d20 +20. All right, so there's my caster level check.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you cast this spell and and then that door, you can hear the sound. It's a loud sound of the lock disengaging.
And that wasn't silent, so chance for them to hear, I guess.
Okay. Might as well. Okay. No, they don't hear you.
All right.
It doesn't seem like anyway. So that door opens then, and they move inside. Now the not the leader, he's still there, but the 4 goblins, they move in, and clearly they move downstairs because you lose sight of them.
Okay.
And then the leader moves down with them, and it's your turn.
They seem to be knowing where they're, not like knowing where they're going, but moving with purpose and all that stuff.
They're moving pretty
Cautiously.
Got their weapons up, and they're moving down.
All right. I'll double move to about there. And what is moving normal speed penalty on stealth, Travis? Off the top of your head?
I think it's -10 if you want to move full speed.
All right. So,
Verify that for you real quick.
all right. Thank you. I really wish I had invested some in stealth.
-5 penalty.
All right. So, because I'm invisible, I get +15 to stealth. Now I'm going to move normal speed,
Okay.
but I'm going to do it stealthily. So, there that goes. If you want, I can re-roll that in the tower.
So that's with your +15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me roll theirs.
Pot pie's cooking.
All right. So it doesn't seem to you like they notice you. And they continue moving in. You do hear one of them give a shout of like excitement, like happiness.
Okay. Never be the first one to run in, Goblin. No. That's when you get caught in them dang Temple of Doom traps.
And that'll bring us back to you.
All right. I'll move into the room.
Okay, let's see.
Casimir will be also thinking about how Graham ain't so special. Graham and Rohan. Anyone can do this stealth stuff.
Yeah, they definitely don't seem to notice you. So you go into this room, and it's got like a dais with, a stepped up dais, and there's a chest on the center of it. And then there's also chests in the, in each section of this room as well against the walls.
I think I might stop short. Let's see, 5, 10, 15.
So from your angle anyway, you can see a chest up on the dais, and then there's one past it, and then one on the left of this room. And that's what you can see from here.
All right. I'll ready my trident and wait and see what they're going to be doing here. I'm pretty sure that chest is going to explode. I'll take a step back.
Okay. Yeah, I can go to there. All right. So that's you. So then, they're all lined up here next to each other, shoulder to shoulder, looking at this chest. And, none of them makes the move to go open it. They look at their leader, and you can hear him say, out of the way.
He should have taken a step back, too, and told him to go for it.
I'll open it. So he walks up to it, and it doesn't appear to be locked, so he opens it, and you can see him reach his hand inside. And then he pulls out and holds up what looks to you like a cut gem. About the size of, your new fist.
Oh, okay.
It's cut into a intricate shape, and it looks like it could be, what's the word? Let's see, what is it? A jade. So he's holding it up, and he says, "This looks like what they told us to get, right?" And his underlings are like, "Yeah." A couple of them shrug. You can see now they're looking around at the other chests, but that's what he does. And it's your turn.
All right. Let us. Oh, I don't think I prepared it. No. Oh. All right. I'll cast haste on myself.
Do a will save.
All right. There you go.
All right. So when you see that gem, like you can sort of feel your eyes roll back in your head, and you sort of lose sense of your own weight, and then you get this that same feeling from when the book was opened earlier. Now you're getting the account through the eyes of the person who wrote it. He's got a gem just like this, exactly like this. And he's doing an extremely complex process of grinding it down to the finest powder that he possibly can. And he's got a cauldron nearby that's bubbling. You get not the sense of what other ingredients are in there, but that there are a lot of other ingredients in there. And he feels some excitement because this is one of the final pieces as he starts pouring the dust into that cauldron. And, so you get that happens, but it's like, all of that in a split second. So you don't lose your focus or your footing or anything, but it is very vivid.
All right. So, yeah, I now want this gem. Is what I figure on that too. Like anything this magically powerful can't go to the hands of them, and who better to have it than me?
Right.
So I will silently cast haste on myself.
Okay.
And I will apply. Awesome. And that will be, well, I guess I can move up. I'll move half speed here.
It's weird. Well, I can see where it says affect taste, but it didn't apply it onto your... It's okay, I'll put it on there.
Oh, like on the character sheet itself?
Yeah.
I thought it doesn't. It does in the attacks, I believe.
No, I mean in the combat tracker.
Oh, okay. Because I know that was throwing me off for a while when we first started doing the effects, where it wasn't showing up in my actual sheet.
Yeah. And how long does that last?
Was it one round a level? So 10?
10? Okay. All right. So you cast that, and you're doing it silently, like silent spell?
Yeah, that's
like
the last one I can do a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you feel that magic wash over you, and you start twitching, getting ready to move fast. And then you move up 20 feet. All right.
And that's my turn.
Okay. So then, you can see that goblin put that gem into his pouch, and then these other ones sort of split up to go check out these other ones. One of them moves up next to the leader, and you can hear him talking about that. And says, how much do you think it's worth? It's not for selling. But that's what they do. They split up and go to these chests, and that leader is just standing there watching them. Says, "Hurry up, we've got to be on the move." They only sent us for this one thing, so we can keep whatever's in these other ones. And then it'll be your turn.
All right. I'll move up and attack. Maybe we could just hang back and fireball him. Nah, we'll move up and I'll attack the leader. Might as well wake everything up here. Target the leader. I always like how Casimir's supposed to be smart, but at the end of the day, he's just a meathead. I will power attack.
Wait, never lose any debates when you go to an actual wizard school. Just beat him up.
Power attack, 2 hands.
Was it Plato that was supposed to be big and burly wrestler?
Yeah, he would win debates sometimes by just standing up and flexing. No joke. Yeah.
Oh, dang. That's awesome.
But, there's some merit to that.
Well, yeah, I mean, he said
size matters, Like sometimes you win an argument, but lose because you won. You got to be smart about it.
Tactics.
It's like those nerd kids at school who were super smart because they read a lot, and then they just got a little too mouthy, and you had to remind them,
All right. Was it?
Your trivia is not going to stop this punch, buddy.
What is will the invisibility factor in the bonuses I get for someone who can't see me, or I got to add that myself?
Yeah, you'll have to add it.
All right. What am I looking for? I'm looking
for
spells.
So you get a +2 bonus on attack rolls and ignore their bonus to AC, which is fine, or their dexterity bonus, which is fine because they're flat-footed anyway. So
all right. So here we go.
+2.
Ooh, I might re-roll that.
Well, it's a hit.
Okay, I'll take it.
Here, with the leader?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me put it
on. I think I am targeting him.
Okay. No, you're not. That's all right. I'll drag your... There you are now. So anyway, that's a hit.
Okay. Am I still under the effects of power attack?
Yeah, it's still on your sheet.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So did that come out right?
I think so. Looks about right.
Okay. So what do you want to do?
Just walk up and poke him.
Yeah, so you walk up behind him and stab him really good with your trident. And, he screams in surprise and pain. I mean, he's not dead, but he does scream out. Your invisibility, this was just regular invisibility? Yeah, that fades away. And then anything else?
That's it.
Yeah, so these other ones, they give a scream and they start reacting to it. This one, basically they'll level their muskets and start firing. I don't know why that isn't working. Yeah, so the sound is deafening in this enclosed space, but, he levels his musket, pops off a shot at you, and does, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Not 29 damage. It does 9 damage, so we'll take 20 off of here.
I like the idea that they're just carrying around, like, the small cannons.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. So that's his move. And this one, basically, they'll all do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We have a critical threat here.
Oh, no.
Critical hit. Yeah, so this shot comes hits you right in the forehead. You can feel it sticking in your skull.
That or it rang off my helmet. Yeah. Put a dent in it. Okay. Oh no, Graham will never let me live it down.
Try this guy. 11 damage from that one, and then this last one. See what he does here. So he gets automatic. Now this one is number 4. One gets an automatic miss, and actually we'll do with him is we'll see if his musket explodes or if he accidentally hits his commander here. So his musket explodes in his hands, sends shrapnel into his face, and does some damage to him. So shrapnel basically goes into his throat.
Oh.
And he drops to the floor gurgling. And this leader turns, and then so what he'll do is he'll try to stab at you with his bayonet because you're too close. So he'll thrust that forward, but he does manage to hit you with it, but does 2 damage.
Okay.
And that'll bring us to your turn now.
All right. Where is Whirlwind? That's okay. It should be on my weapon, right? Yeah. I will Whirlwind those 2. If I can find it real quick here. There's Trident. Knockback Whirlwind 3 times per day. Full attack bonus against each opponent. All right, so first the leader. Am I still in reflex power attack?
Yeah, it's still on there.
Awesome. So there's against him.
It's a hit.
Okay. Do you want me to just go in order, or do you want me to roll attack both, or how you want me to do it?
Yeah, just go in order.
All right. So.
Okay.
And then. Am I targeting? Yeah, it says I'm Goblin Fighter.
Yeah, so that basically slices that one's head off.
And then him.
And that's a hit.
All right.
Yeah, so you stab that into his chest and, basically cut him in half. So that's going to... So you had that on the leader, but you're doing it number 3?
Yeah. It's showing me targeting him. Like it's going to him. It's just not switching it, I guess.
Yeah, that, you basically cut him in half with a stab. So...
It does slash in 2.
Yeah, I know. I'm just stabbing the fork, and it's enough damage to make him hinge. All right, yeah, so that's you. And then...
All 5 foot, and that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay. This guy screams and takes off running, and he makes it up here. And this guy will continue. He'll shoot at you again. It's 11 damage to you, and he moves this way, skirting around the edge of the room. And now your turn.
All right. I'll move up to him, and I'll attack him.
All right, so you...
I'll hero point that.
Which one is that you're doing?
Oh,
number 2. That's a hit.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, you basically impale him.
I don't think I have spring attack yet. Or do I?
And see, he dies right away and crumples to the ground. One thing you do notice from all these dead ones is that their muskets, as soon as they die, they just sort of disintegrate into ash.
Okay, that explains that then.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's my turn.
Okay. This other one now gives out a shriek and runs full speed away. And then back to you.
All right. I'm going to figure he's gone. Guess I'll find out when I get to there.
Yeah, so with the steps and everything, you can't see him anymore. But you can sort of still hear him clanking off down the distance.
I'm not too worried. I'll retrieve the jewel from the boss goblin.
Okay. And I'll put that in your inventory here.
Do I have food? I know I'm not potentially needing to eat, but I forget if I brought any. And we always give Graham crap about... I think I did get food.
So that's...
But
in your inventory now.
All right, thank you. But I'm not seeing it, so that means I didn't get it. Yeah, I'm giving Graham crap.
You didn't get that gem, or?
No, I got the gem.
Okay.
I was looking to see if I had food, because I might take some of their rations, because I think they're eating human style, probably.
You guys did split your stuff up when you knew you were going to go different ways.
Yeah, I swear I remember getting some, but it's not listed.
Well,
At
we
least
can,
I can see.
we can put some in there.
I swear I remember getting like 2 weeks is what I went with.
Yeah.
But, all right, so I got the gem. I guess I'm going to try to quickly go around to the other chests, keep an ear out for any goblins, and pray that I don't get exploded.
Sorry, say that again.
I'm going to go to the other chests, keep an ear out. I guess I can detect magic on myself and maybe see if there's whatchamacallit on the any sort of like magical auras on the chest before I open it.
Okay.
Type thing is what I'm going to hope will work. So there that is. And detect magic on me. And then I'll just go clockwise around this room. So I'll first check and see if there's anything left in that center chest. And then I'll go over to that one.
All right. Yeah, that center one is empty.
Okay.
So you're going to move on over to this one.
Mm-hmm.
And you detect magic, but not from the chest itself.
All right.
From inside of it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I did have open, close. You can open or close your choice a door, chest, or box, window, pouch, bottle. I think it can't be locked. And it can't weigh more than 30 pounds.
Okay.
And what's its range? 25 feet?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll stand back where I was and swift action to negate my fail chance.
Mm-hmm.
And do that.
And so you're going to open that chest from here in case it's trapped? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. What is it? What did I say? It was 25 feet
Mm-hmm.
per level or something?
What's it called? Open?
Yeah, open/close. So range is 60 feet.
Yeah, you got it.
I was like, no, that's detect magic. Son of a bitch. Open, close. Yeah, 25 feet plus 5 feet for every 2 levels. So
right.
30.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, you pop that one open and, nothing happened.
All right. Then we'll move over to here and pop the one to the south.
Okay. Same thing.
All right. And then move over here and pop the one to the west.
Okay. Same thing.
All right. Then I'll go around and see what's in any of them.
All right. All right. So,
do you want a perception check to keep an ear out for that? Any goblins or returning goblins?
Oh no, I'll call for it if
Okay.
I need it. Let's see. So, from one of them you find a ring.
Mm.
Yeah. So the one to the right you find a ring. Let me.
Ability, skill.
All right, so I'll put it unidentified. For now, I'll put it in your inventory unidentified.
All right. And
then the one to the south. In that one, you find... Let me see if that's in there. No. Oh, there we go. A pair of gloves. Put that into your inventory. And then the one to the left, you find a, looks like a headband.
Okay.
In there.
Gamified wizard dungeon crawl means I get to go back to the alcove and identify everything. All right. So that it?
Yeah, that's all you find in there. Let me put that in your inventory here.
All right. So I'm still not hearing anything?
No.
Say it's 15 seconds for me. Or is it 10 seconds? So 30 seconds? 10 seconds around?
6 seconds around.
6 seconds. So 18 seconds for me to identify an item. It's because it's 3 rounds.
Okay.
So I might quickly do that.
Okay. Yeah, so those are in your inventory now. And then we can identify them. But first, let's go over to Graham.
All right.
Pretty close to finishing up here. So, Graham, you are continuing on your quest here. And so you've moved into that vent.
Yes.
And same situation. There's, one straight ahead leads into a room where you can continue on down. And then looking into that next room, it is empty.
Yeah, so I think there's one more cell beyond with that vent. Assuming I see another one.
Yes.
So I'll just hustle through there. Although my suspicion is I will not find my sister in one of these cells, but we'll take a look.
Yeah, so here there's another one that leads into the next room. And as you peek your head in there, you see that one's empty as well.
Okay. But I'll continue on the duct highway to the storage room and hope it comes out into those chambers beyond,
Yeah,
like
so
the
now,
other one did.
now you find yourself in another storeroom. This doesn't have chests. This just has random bits of oddly shaped items, large coils of wire, and then some barrels and stuff. Is
Okay.
what you see in here, but no people.
And is there still a vent on that north wall?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll pop in there and see what we can see.
yeah, and that's where it branches to the right, and then you're looking down into the same thing you saw on the other side, actually. A large apparatus that takes up the bulk of this room, and the like a workstation with a couple of people working at it.
Whoa.
That's not there. So, a couple of people down there, and that's what you can see from your vantage point.
I got a hot mom, by the way, guys.
Nah.
She's gone now, but
Nah.
I forgot to mention it.
So which one of... It's Fenrith. It's Fenrith.
It's got to be Fenrith.
Yeah, he's the one that's going to get her.
Have you heard tell of Coraline Lorethian? Stay a while and listen. All right.
Stay a while. And
Sorry,
go
so there were people working in this one too, or...
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me get them.
Do I see a way of getting down out of this vent without alerting them? Or would I be in their field of vision?
Well, yeah, that's is the only way you can see.
Well, I was considering coming back and braving the automatons again at the end of the hall. But if I can sneak down there, I can just, with my disguise, act like
Yeah.
I was always here.
Right. So, I mean, right now, their attention is on other things. Like, they're not looking at you. But this is the only way you can see to get down there.
Yeah, I'll try to get down there.
And so you can see from your vantage point that this large apparatus here, perhaps you could slip on over or under that. So what this is this giant thing that's got a shaft that's spinning. But anyway, if you want to sneak down there, you can roll your stealth.
Do-do-do-do.
To keep them from hearing you.
31.
So we'll say you climb down here, no problem. So far, they don't seem to notice you.
All right, so you got island brain. What do you make of this? I suppose we might have like mills and stuff, so it's a shaft propelled by like a water wheel or a
some
windmill
form
would
of
still
energy.
be. Yeah, it's It might be interesting to mess this up a little bit.
Yeah, you got island brain, but you also got potentially like other memories. And
Right.
You know what, your, whatchamacallit, like your disabled device could probably be used or engineering.
Yeah, it doesn't seem important now, but I'll make a note of it. And there's some symmetry to it where this room repeats itself on the other side. So
Yeah.
sort of dual engine
Now,
thing going on.
from where you are looking at this apparatus, you see that there is more room on the other side of it to the north, but you can just tell looking through the spaces and the cracks that there's more room over there, not what's over there.
Yeah, it's not meant for people to pass through.
Right.
Yeah, so this is where I have to act like I belong when I sneak down and out. Once I get to where I'm about behind them, I'll just start walking casually out of this room. Gotta find my sister.
Okay. So right now, they've still got... Now, as you move over to here, you can see on the other side of that table, there's a massive crystal. Same shape and color as these smaller ones that were in those rooms you rescued people from. Only they're glowing brightly. And this technician here at the workstation, that seems to be what most of his focus is on. That and his colors. And
So the elf essence powers the crystal, which boils the water.
Generate the steam.
Right.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
You know,
yeah.
they could just have coal.
Well, when you get to Empire level, you're not really looking at those sorts of things.
Coal doesn't exist in this world.
You need something awful.
I mean, like, worst comes to worst, you could actually just have, like, a continual stream of water to turn a wheel.
Yeah.
And then dump all the water outside or something.
Yeah, so at that point, I'm just walking casually, whether they notice me or not. I imagine I'm pretty soft-footed.
Yeah, and there's good noise in this room anyway, so...
So I'll just walk out into that area between these two engine rooms.
You're also very tall now.
Yeah, go
Probably
ahead.
freak them out. Probably be a horror show if they turn around and 150 pounds, 6'4".
Go ahead and move your character where you want to go.
I got to get some stilts for this guy to make it even crazier.
Looking around like he came out of the Beautiful People music video.
All right, so here you can see the other side of that room, and the people that you had seen there earlier are obstructed from your view by that workstation, but you can see the symmetry here. There's a crystal here too, and then the rest of that apparatus to the right of it. And then what you're looking at straight north is there's some sort of tubing or piping that connects the two that is in a trench in the floor, and there's a walkway, a graded walkway over the top of it. So that's what you're looking at. And then there's this circular platform here. You're not sure what that is or what it does.
A video game, I'd just go stand on it. Well, I think this casting about's not really going to do, so I think it might be time for another long shot ruse here. So what I want to do is go back in one of these rooms and ask these guys, they're like, hey, where'd they take the girl? Basically, right?
Okay.
I'm supposed to go there, but...
Okay.
Yeah. Let's try that. Guess we'll go back in that room I passed through.
All right, so you still are disguised?
Yeah.
And what is the check against that?
You want to bluff, I guess?
So you've got disguise.
Oh, right. We, 18 was the DC.
They want to use...
Spot hidden, I believe. Perception. There we go.
Against it.
There should be some rogue thing that lets you use like one of your skills to just off, like disable device to just off someone.
Right.
Just power them down. Like disable their like soul.
All right, so you go up to this guy, and his attention's focused on that crystal, and you tap him on the shoulder and say...
Yeah, be like, hey, where's the girl? I'm supposed to go there, but she's not in the cell.
So he turns and looks at you, and you can see his eyes widen as he looks up because you're much taller than him, and he's like, but then like there's a sound from his station, so he looks at it with annoyance, and he's like, in the supervisor's room, and he points on the other side of that apparatus.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks.
Should have said she-elf too.
Right.
Oh.
And I'll leave, and I'll make my way to the other side of the apparatus. I gave up too soon. I was like, this is useless.
Okay.
Yeah, they probably don't let you on a submersible if you're 6'4".
Yeah.
Or 7 feet. They're just like, nope. Can't ride a horse. Can't be in a submersible. Can't fly a plane.
No, I know that that basketball player, he was 7 feet tall, and he worked on a submarine in the Navy. Can't remember his name anymore.
I'm sure they do.
Plus there's that one.
All right, so you move over in this direction, and as you get about here, you can see there's a door over here.
Okay.
And so you can get up to that door.
I mean, I'll see if I can hear anything, but I doubt it because there's a bunch of racket in here. So I'll give up after a second or two and...
Yeah, do a perception.
Want that in the tower? I guess we always do those in the tower, huh?
All right, so you can put your ear up to the door, and you do hear the sound of your sister shouting defiantly.
Okay. That'll spur me forward. I'll make it into the room. Try not to draw attention to myself, but I'll have my spanner ready, and in we go.
I've already changed the deal, she-elf. Do not make me change it again.
All right, so you push this door open, and you can see this human looming over your sister. And, he's dressed in a little bit different uniform. It looks cleaner and, not the sort of thing like meant for working like the other ones have.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see he's got his hand raised as if to strike your sister. Her cheek's all puffy and she's crying, but she looks defiant, which you recognize from all the times when she was defiant at home, even though it's not smart to be so.
You think Graham's sneak attack is bad? You should see what happens when you anger the mother.
So we'll make it your turn.
Yeah, so if I have the drop on him, then
Yeah.
cold-blooded killer Graham will just walk up and shove my spanner into his throat.
All right. That's
or maybe
the
up under the rib cage, more like.
supervisor. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea that every time your parents see you now, you're just spraying blood in their face because you just killed their captor.
I didn't target him, so.
That is a hit.
I will target him now, or I won't.
Don't be scared. It's me, Graham.
That's kind of weird. There we go. Did you do that, Brandon?
Yeah.
I don't know why it wasn't letting me. Here's the damage and the sneak attack. Roll as well as I'd hope with a sneak attack.
Mhm.
Gonna discharge or keep them gems?
Yeah. Let's let the rage out.
Okay.
How dare you do this to my sister? Okay, Bloodtooth Harm. I got 3 gems in there.
How's that work? Like, you just did a sneak attack, so can you dispel the 3 and gain 1?
No.
No, it's got to
no.
be empty first. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so I'll do all 3 on them.
Okay.
So we'll throw out another 66.
Almost doubled your damage. That's not bad.
All right. So you step forward and stab Bloodtooth right into his heart. And, you can see the shock look on his face.
Yeah.
And then confusion, and then he just slumps to the floor.
Now, the way I had been role-playing it from back in the day is when I used those gems in that way, sort of a murderous
Mm-hmm.
look comes over. So I'm probably like, I got it in there, and I'm like
Yeah.
grinding it around and,
Oh, yeah.
like gritting my teeth out.
Yeah.
And,
Twisting it. You like
watching the light
Yeah.
float out of his eye.
All right.
Oh, hey, sis.
Okay. So let's shoot over to Rohan. So you're following these.
The ghost of Cradle. That's
You're
Rohan's.
following these goblins, Rohan, and they, like you suspected, they very quickly find a trail that they knew was there, and they start moving along this trail. Seeming unbothered by the rain and the wind, they walk pretty close to each other, and they're making no attempt to be stealthy.
Okay.
And as they go, they're talking to each other, just having conversation about how can't believe the ships crashed and stuff like that.
As we go along, I'll be keeping an eye out for an opportunity for if one slows down or stops or falls behind or steps off the trail. Kind of, if they ever separate, then I'll try and pick them off.
Okay. All right. So you follow him for a little bit longer, and then let's get him on there. Come on. All right. Roll initiative for me just real quick so we can have it on there.
Once I roll it, I'm going to attack. The rule.
What just happened?
Don't ask me, Justin.
It was just weird when I clicked initiative, everything kind of locked up for a second.
Yeah.
And then instead of rolling it, it just put the dice in my hand.
Oh, okay. It looked like you attacked or something. Sky advanced effect. Yeah.
That's weird. Let's see. We'll do it this way then. All right. So they're moving along. They're having their conversation about how, everything's falling apart and how evil these elves are, and it's frightening. And then one of them mentions that a team had gone out to a house in the hills, and that there'd been 10 of them, and they went to collect whoever lived there, and it was just an old woman. And none of them, only one of them came back, and his skin had been turned see through, and he couldn't see or speak, and then he died an hour later. This is sort of the story they're telling.
Good old Naseri.
But they do spread out, as they continue moving along, they put some distance between each other, about 10 feet between each other. And so, as you continue following them, you do reach a point where that distance is just increased to the point where you feel like the other ones might not notice.
All right.
And they're going single file at this point.
So, yeah, I'll try and pick off the back one.
Okay.
So, which one do you want me to target?
4.
Okay. And I'll try to completely annihilate him.
3 hits.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, hit, miss, hit.
Yeah.
3 hits. All right, so these these arrows streak through the rain and the darkness, and the lightning from them, or the electricity is overshadowed by lightning striking, and then that one doesn't even make a sound as he pitches forward and dead on the trail.
Okay. If the others don't recognize, then I'll try and quickly drag his body, catch up to him and drag his body off the trail.
How long before an invisible Rohan is out here collecting skulls and leaving skinned bodies in trees?
I just need one night's sleep to start.
All right, yeah, they don't notice you. So you creep forward and grab a hold of that goblin and drag him into the underbrush, or the undergrowth. The rest of them continue on. So, the rain's coming down so heavy now, they've got, their hoods up and they're hunched forward as they trod through the mud. So they don't notice.
Okay, so then the next one at the back.
Okay, number 3. Looks like all misses.
The
1 hit. The 4th attack hit.
Yeah. God, that is horrible. All right, so put that.
All right, so that arrow takes him in the back of the throat, or back of the neck, and he pitches forward, and his musket goes flying from his hands and lands in the trail ahead of him, and he dies.
Okay. Once again, I'll try and quickly get up there and pull his body off.
And the other 2 still have not noticed.
Okay. On to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
I keep forgetting to add my favorite enemy against them on the attack. How many 1s am I going to roll?
I know.
This is crazy, man.
Yeah. But you did get a hit. Okay, so same with that one.
Okay, and this time I'm not going to wait to pull his body off the trail. I'll just immediately target the last one.
All right, so that one doesn't seem to notice, and he stops, and off the, like a foot off of the trail, there's a large tree, and he steps underneath and leans on it, as if to take a break, and he glances back, and you can see the surprise on his face when he doesn't see any of his companions. Then his eyes light on the one that's on the trail, but it's your turn.
So I'm going to try wounding him rather than killing him. So just 1 attack, try and hit him in a leg or something like that.
Okay. All right, so a called shot.
Oh, nice. They got that.
So shooting for his leg.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so go ahead and do your attack at a -2.
I just take 2 off that last attack.
And then what'd you get? Okay. So that's a hit against his leg.
And is it possible to suppress the electricity damage?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. So then it would just be 1d8 plus. And then normally it would be plus 11 because he's a favorite enemy and all the rest of my stuff.
Trying to hold it all in.
Yeah, trying not to kill him, but wound him to the point where he knows that if he tries anything, he'll die.
Still +4 from the bow, right?
Yeah.
So 7.
Okay.
Yeah, +4 from the bow.
So you take this shot and you hit him in the leg, and it's at this point that he sees you, and he's got this arrow in his leg, and he starts limping, trying to get away down the trail.
And I'll shout at him in Goblin to stop.
All right, he stops and he turns slowly.
As I walk past his dead companion, I'll pick up the musket.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say to him, "You're going to teach me how to use these."
Okay. So you walk up to him, and he's got his hand on this arrow that's stuck in his leg, and his eyes are wide, and he's clearly terrified. And you come up and stand before him and tell him that. And that's where we'll have to stop for the day.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
man.
you.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, good game, guys.
Oh, man.
Getting taller,
Yeah.
smarter, stronger.
I'm really liking these note spell lists.
This has been a Death Watch production. Thank you for listening.